Hi all, this is Skate, and this is the Tier 9 American M103. Now, I have 3 bits of footage to show you. The first one isn't actually a game, it's just showing you how frustrating this is going to be. Second one is a fun game which shows that although this is quite mobile for a heavy tank, it does still have some good armour. And then the third game is a nice fun mastery game. So, I just wanted to share this one bit, which is my complete and utter failure, and I should have moved, so it's my own doing. So we get one into him, I back it up, and there comes an arty shell. So I'm going to pop back out thinking, well, I got full health, I'm safe, let's get one into him. As we come back around... What? Yeah, T92 has just taken all of my health in one shot. Seriously, what the hell? That's got to be the most frustrating thing ever. Basically, one of the arty fired. Me not paying attention didn't notice there was 2 in a platoon. And if I did notice, I probably would have assumed they would be firing at the same targets. More than anything, just to irritate people. So, that was my experience with the T92 in my M103. I played very cautiously for the rest of this match, as you would expect. And judging from that shell angle, I should be covered using this side of the rocks instead. But let me show you some proper gameplay. Now this one, I put myself in a bit of a stupid position, and I have several tanks firing at me all at once. Well, actually, it's not all at once. They keep popping out. You know those little whack-a-moles? You got to keep smacking them on the head as they pop out from different angles. That's pretty much what this game is for me. And then, of course, artillery joins the party, and then more tanks join the party. So although it's a bit of an odd game, and we are going to call it whack-a-mole game, it still highlights the good points of the M103 and what the M103 is good at, which is it's a very mobile heavy tank. It's riddled with weak spots. The armour isn't the most reliable for a heavy tank, but it has a very good heavy tank gun. It's got good rate of fire, it's got good accuracy, but you've got that weak spot on top of the turret. The lower front plate is very weak, and the cheeks are very weak. However, when you're pointing the gun in someone's direction, even with a bit of a wiggle sometimes, it can actually produce an awful lot of bounces, and that's pretty much what I have to do here. I put myself in a strange or stupid position, but I've got cover on my lower plate. It's just my turret which is prone to being shot at in this position. So as long as I pretty much point my turret in the direction of people who are shooting at me, then I should be okay. Well, mostly anyway. Now that E50 is aiming down towards my turret, so he should be able to penetrate through the top and on my hatch absolutely no problem at all, which is why you'll notice I'm paying more attention to it now, and I've put a bit of a back and forth wiggle on the go as well. And pretty much what I'm trying to do is point my gun at anybody who is about to pop out and fire at me, which is why I'm looking around constantly. And there goes an arty shell. And there was a bounce, and there's the Centurion popping his nose out. So again, once he's popped out to try to take a shot at me, I've managed to get a return one into him and wiggle back and forth as the VK pops back out for one. And then there's the Centurion again. But this is the key I find to the M103, is making sure your gun is pointed at the person who's firing at you and keeping your tank on the move so your weak spots aren't that easy to hit, which I find is pretty much the same playstyle as an E5, which obviously follow on from each other, but there's a massive hit from the arty, which pretty much makes me come to the conclusion that I do need to start backing off now. So I'm running away. That E50 was getting some good shots into my turret. I think he bounced 2 and penetrated 2, and we were getting bounces off the Centurion and off the VK. Now where I've just come up by here, I've just lost another chunk of health from that Centurion, but we do get a return fire into the VK and finish him off. And this is the other advantage of the M103, I think, is it has good gun depression, which again, as long as I keep my turret pointing in the general direction, I can find a bit of this ridge and try and poke around while keeping the vast majority of my hull covered. And I know I got hit by the arty just now, but for some stupid reason I decide to go back to this rock because it's a nice place for cover. And we bounced 1 off the Centurion, and we just bounced a lucky shot off that E50. Like you'll notice, after taking my shots, I have made sure I kept on the move. And thankfully I did, because in came an arty shell. And the fact I know that he's still pointing in my general direction and wants to take me out, I am going to keep on the move. And I am going to play very carefully until either arty has been addressed, or I can get myself in a position, which I'm trying to do now, where the artillery cannot shoot me back. Because one more shot and I am done for. But we have bounced a lot of shells already. But I am on extremely low health, so I am going to be much more reserved in my playstyle than I was, especially as, well, we have a lot more tanks than them, but on this hill it's quite neck and neck. So I'm in a position now where arty can't shoot me, but I can still keep guns on this position to try and help the team. At the moment though, there is nothing for me to shoot at. But it started out as a very, very good game. It started that way, which is why I want to try and keep it going that way. But obviously with such low health, well, it's quite risky then, isn't it? But I'm trying to be passive, and I'm trying to line up where I think they're going to pop out. You see the Centurion coming down there, so I'll line up by there. But as a Blitz player, you're used to quite fast action gameplay. So I'm kind of losing my patience. I know there's only 4 left, so I'm just going to decide to go for it. If I die trying to get a couple more shots off, well, I die. If I get a couple more shots off, well, bonus. Here comes the Centurion. Are we going to get a shot on him? Come on, are we going to ninja the kill? Yeah. See, if I carried on playing passively there, I wouldn't have got that kill. And I think more than anything, that Centurion was nailing me from across earlier. Granted, most of his shots bounced. I think all of his shots bounced, actually. Bar 1 or 2 maybe. But I just wanted to kill him as a result. And we have way more tanks than the rest of them, so I might as well push up and just see if I can do any more damage before the game is out. And again, this is the thing with the M103. It's a heavy tank, but it's very mobile for a heavy tank. Those who have played the M103 would say exactly the same. Those who haven't played it, well, as you can see, it's quite mobile. So trying to mop up the last few kills, you can get there in this tank. I put an 82 video out not too long ago where I just didn't bother, well, because it's too slow. But this one, although we missed it in this game, you can get to the last few kills and mop them up even though you are a big, slow, heavy tank. Because it's a mobile heavy tank. It's a heavium, there we go. That's the correct terminology. But if you look at this game, we did 3,800 damage, and we blocked 3,340. Now, it's not the highest damage, I'm well aware of that. It's good damage, I think, but it's not the highest you get in M103. I've seen people do crazy damage in this tank. But it's the damage blocked on this game which surprised me. And I thought it was a fun game, so I wanted to share it, and I think it gives a good example of how reliable the M103 armor can actually be. This is the game I actually want to share with you, though. This is an M103 Mastery replay, and I think it highlights the good accuracy of the tank, the good mobility of the tank, and basically how much fun this can be. I have now sold my M103, which I was worried and apprehensive about doing because, well, I enjoy the tank so much. But I bought an E5 instead, and I'm very glad I did. When I first stepped up from the M103 to the E5 on World of Tanks Blitz, I was a little bit disappointed. I preferred the M103, but I got a lot more experience now playing World of Tanks than I did back then. M103, this is actually my first tier 9 on console, and then I did exactly the same when I started Blitz. M103 line was my first. So when I got to the tier 10, it just felt a little bit disappointing compared to the M103, because I really enjoyed it. I think the only difference really, excuse my ramblings, the only difference really is my experience. I have a lot more experience now than when I first started that. So I know how to handle the tanks better, I suppose. That's probably the easiest way of describing it. So I know the weaknesses of the the E5, as with previously I didn't. All in all, I think what I'm trying to get at is it is worth stepping up to the E5. It doesn't feel a disappointment over the M103 in console. You gotta give it though. The M103 is a great looking tank. They've got one in Bovington, and it's just stunning. In fact, looking up at my tank shelf right now, I do have a 135 scale M103 up there, and I don't actually want to put any battle damage on it. it just looks nice and clean. Right, back to the gameplay. Tendency of rambling, I apologise. Haven't really done much at the moment. We managed to get one shot in and we managed to do one bit of critical damage. That's about it so far. But I have been spotted. I have no idea where from until we see him. So this is why I tried to back up and then dunk my shot as well. I have come to a position like this previously and I got shot from various different angles and nailed, which is why I was being quite cautious. However, as I wasn't being shot at yet, I was going to push up to this building and see if I can get shots on the back of that tank. Ah, look how pretty it is with the sun out. It's right. Ah, I got a horrible tendency of going off on a tangent. Fuck's sake. Right, M103. Now we're going to go push on these tanks, because you can see my team pushing them from that left-hand side on the minimap, and there is nothing on this right-hand side, so it gives me a nice, perfect situation to almost go in as a pincer movement. The risk of that, of course, is I am the weaker flank, because there's only one of me, and they are all up there. So they may just turn and shoot at me. We'll soon have to see how the game pans out. But we have side shots where we are, so we are going to take advantage of them. The Tiger 1 pops out, we're just going to reverse away so we can cover ourselves, and I'm going for a track shot by here. Yep, we do get the track shot as well. And we're now in cover. So although there's 3 tanks there, the Borsig and the Tiger can't shoot me from where I am at the moment. But it does mean I can get another track shot into this Oho and also damage his ammo rack. And what the hell is that T-43 doing? But we lost our 3rd shot then as well. And someone has set that Tiger on fire. As I can't get any more shots into that big fat tasty tier 8, I'm going to go for the Tiger. And we get an ammo rack. I don't care what anybody says. When you ammo rack a tank, even if it's for like 10 more health than what the average damage is, you can't help but smile. There's someone sitting there going, no I don't, lies. Everybody does. So we've got 1 kill. Granted, it was due to an ammo rack, but it was only about 100 more than what the average damage of the tank is. And we've done 5 penetrating hits. And ooh, there's Artie. Are we going to get a shot from where he is? No, but we get nailed in the back by the Borsig. And it's only after getting shot I realised it was the Borsig. So quick turnaround, snapshot, and finish him off. Now we can carry on trying to look for the Artie. At the moment, we are winning slightly, but I'd say it's borderline level pegging. And I wanted to go for the Artie here, but I noticed that this Type 59 is going hell for leather by here. He's actually doing some very good damage to that KV3. So we're going to get up, see if we can help the KV3. Quick snapshot into him and finish him off. And then what else is up by here? A light tank. And me being stupid, I cannot see for the life of me what it is. Oh, there we go, it's an AMX Chaffee. I really want one of them, by the way. Also, avoid driving into dead tanks who are hidden in trees. Now, I've noticed this a lot with light tanks. It goes one of 2 ways. Light tank, I'm finding they will either YOLO in on here and do a little bit of spotting, or they'll be great at passive spotting. It's one or the other. And then the people who I find are great at spotting are also the same people who know how to bait you back into all their big nasty tanks. It's quite funny with the light tanks. On Blitz it works slightly different, but on here, well, it seems to be complete opposite ends of the spectrum. They're either very good or they're very bad. But he is backing off and he is running around that way. He knows I'm pushing up towards him, and as I come around this corner, oh, it's a Conqueror. And then he has a friendly waffle with him as well. Oh, there he is. So I'm running back and making sure I preserve the rest of my health. Again, we are still winning by only 1 tank. And the reason I'm backing up so much by here is because there's 2 on my left-hand side, which we dunk that one into the wall. That was a very bad shot. But we know the AMX Chaffee is hiding up on that right-hand side. So if I'm concentrating too much on my left, he may come YOLOing in from my right, which is why I'm trying to be so cautious. Now, we've just lost another tank, but they have as well. So we're still pretty much just in the lead. I've just been spotted, though, and detected, which means something's pointing his gun at me. We all know what that means. It is the AMX Chaffee, because the Conk can't see me from where he is, and neither can the Waffle. So it is literally just going to be the AMX. Well, that's what I hope anyway. There might be something else lurking around there. But being as I haven't been shot at yet, well, it's time to push up to see if I can do anything more, because it's very, like I said, neck and neck at the moment. It looks like, though, the Conk had exactly the same idea I did. because as I come up to the corner, he's on the corner, but he has a lot more health than me. Thankfully, I get one into his track, and whatever was behind me took a nice healthy dose off him as well. Ah, it was the Borsig that was behind me. Conqueror backs off so I don't get a shot into him. We do get one into the waffle though, set him on fire and finish him off. Now this Conqueror has been quite confident on the basis of he knows he has more health than me. However, he's rushing his shots, and he only did track damage. I managed to get one into the side, but sadly I didn't manage to track him. Now I'm backing up here because I can see that AMX coming up on the right hand side, and also on the left hand side we still have that Conqueror, and just behind me is a little ridge. So if I can get back to that little ridge, I'm going to be much more hull down and take more advantage of my gun depression. And there is the AMX Chaffee. Now he does manage to get one into me, but we are covered by the rock now, and like I said, we are taking more advantage of our hull down position. One more to finish him off, and now the Conk's pushing us. But we're in a much stronger position than him. He has my turrets to shoot at, I have his lower plates to shoot at. So one into his lower plates, again he bounces his next shot, and I wanted to ram him, but sadly not enough speed, only do 14 damage. We do reverse out and get one more shot to finish him off then. And again my tracks eat it. Yeah, the lower plate's weak on these, and I'm not saying it all went into tracks due to my skill. It's not. It's down to the... well, it's a combination, I think. It's a lack of angling. Oh, are we going to get that one? Come on. Hey! We didn't finish him off, but we did do some damage. Yeah, with the tracks, angling does come into it. I do try to angle as much as I can, but also he's shooting the wrong places. But that is the end of that game. We did do 4,800 damage, 5 kills, 4 penetrating hits, 2,200 blocked. We've got a mark of excellence there, mastery, and a whole array of other goodies, including a high caliber. What else we got there? Arsonist, steel wall, and obviously some other general ones. But it was a good game. I had fun with it. Demolition expert. I love that one. Again, don't admit it doesn't make you smile when you ammo rack something. But yeah, M103. It's one of those must-try tanks. It's just so much fun. Quick look at the results screen. We did 4,800 damage and we are top of the board. I hope you've all enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.